Welcome back to Relearn Relationships. Today we're talking about how you do anything is how you do everything. I think Dr. Wayne Dyer is the first person I saw use this example, but a lot of people have used it. And it's that if you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. If you squeeze lemon, you get lemon juice. And when life squeezes you, what is on the inside comes out. And another way that you can say that is, how you do anything is how you do everything. Meaning, deep down inside of us, at our most true selves, that's going to come out in everything we do at some level. Now, when we're under pressure and stress, it may come out a little bit louder, but even when life is comfortable, what's deep down on the inside of us is coming out. How we do anything is how we do everything. And I noticed this in myself not long ago. I was complaining about some things with work, and I was getting really frustrated with certain tasks that I would do. And I found myself getting into a spiral of, well, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And the more pressure I felt, the more stressed out I felt, the worse my attitude was. And then, how we do anything is how we do everything. That attitude wasn't just staying with work. It was bleeding into my relationships. It was bleeding into how I felt about clutter that I saw around the house. It was bleeding into everything because it was inside of me. And I was like, okay, I've got to address this. I need to deal with the root cause. What is pushing this inside of me? Like, what is that thing deep down that's leading to this complaining? So I did what I advise my clients to do. I went several whys deep. I wrote down what was bothering me and I asked myself why. And I wrote down that answer and I asked myself why again. And I wrote down that answer and I continued this process until I got to what I was like, this is it. This is the deeper underlying issue of why I am complaining over these tasks I need to do. And once I was able to uncover the issue on my little archaeological dig of myself, I could start to treat the problem and say, okay, I need to deal with this. And also, I need to choose my experience when it comes to tasks that I don't want to do. And one thing that helped me is I decided, these tasks get me closer to where I want to go. Even if I don't enjoy them now, they're helping me in the long run. I mean, sometimes it's like doing pull-ups at the gym. I don't always enjoy it, but it's helping me in the long run. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to condition your body and train, or it's uncomfortable to set boundaries in a relationship, but it helps you in the long run. So it's okay to do things that are uncomfortable. Doing uncomfortable things can be really great for us. And it was a good reminder to myself that I get to choose my experience in everything that I do. How I do anything is how I do everything. I can do everything in my life with joy and love in my heart. Choosing to be frustrated, choosing to be angry, choosing to be upset and kind of sulk about things, that's also available, but I don't have to choose it. Now, a quick caveat. We get to feel the full range of human emotions, and that's a beautiful thing. Sadness comes up, allow yourself to experience it. Frustration comes up, allow yourself to experience it. Anger comes up, allow yourself to experience it, but you don't have to act out of your feelings. You can feel your emotions, feel your feelings, the whole thing, but you don't have to let your feelings dictate your actions and your behaviors. I see this all the time in relationships. If we look at, the whole what's on the inside comes out. And it can start to show itself in small things. Like maybe you get frustrated because your partner said they'd unload the dishwasher and they didn't. They didn't take the trash out. They didn't get to the restaurant on time. It can be these little things, and we start to notice the tightness in our body and our reaction. And if we just let that go, what happens? Well, we sulk the rest of the day. Maybe we say something mean, we build resentment, we get bitter towards our partner. Or the other option is to feel that like, wow, I'm pretty pissed off that she said she'd do this and it didn't get done. I'm pretty pissed off that he's late. He said he'd be here and he's not on time. What does that feel like in my system? Well, I know personally when I get upset or kind of pissed off, if that's the term we're going with, I feel really tight. I feel tight from like the base of my throat, down my sternum, all the way to my stomach. It's just this tight sensation. And if I let myself sit with that and I notice it in my system, I'm like, ooh, I feel tightness. And I feel it in my throat, I feel it in my sternum. I feel tightness and I'm pissed off. I feel pissed off and I feel it in my chest, in my sternum area. And if I allow myself to actually experience the emotion, within 90 seconds, the sensation goes away. And then I'm left with a choice and I can choose how I react. I could choose to be resentful and rude to my partner when he walks in and be like, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Or I can choose to stay in a higher vibration of joy and love. And I can even still set a boundary or still set, make a request and say something like, hey, I know this didn't get done today. I'd really love it if you say you're going to do this, if it could get done in the future. But how I approach that is 100% up to me. My experience of a situation is within my control. And then going back to those examples I just gave, whether it's being late, the dishes, this or that, it's really helpful if you dig deeper and do what I did with my work issue and you start asking yourself the why behind the frustration, the why behind the bitterness, the why behind the anger. Because chances are there's something deeper. Maybe deep down, it feels like disrespect. Feels like they just don't care. If they cared, they would do this. They just don't love me. Maybe it feels like rejection. They didn't show up when they said they'd be here. They don't really want me. And when we get to the root cause and we really let ourselves feel that emotion, the emotion that's kind of buried under, this guise of maybe just like frustration and anger, that deeper emotion, and allow ourselves to feel it, it's a lot easier to communicate from that point because that point requires vulnerability. That point requires openness. If we're going to ask ourselves why and dig deep, we've got to open up. We've got to be vulnerable. And it's a lot easier to communicate in your relationship from a place of vulnerability than a place of defensiveness and a place of resentment. Because I've said it, I'll say it a million times. I know I've said it hundreds before, but words rooted in fear repel, and words rooted in love are received. And so if you are bringing something up to your partner that upset you from a place of bitterness, frustration, and anger, your partner will likely put their hands up, go on the defense. They'll protect themselves. But if you get curious about, why am I so upset about the dang dishes? Why am I so frustrated that they were 15 minutes late? You start to get curious about that and you start to get vulnerable with yourself and you open up a little bit, that's like, oh, I'm worried that they don't respect me. I'm worried that they don't really love me and they don't want me and they're going to reject me. And when we go to our partner, if you're in a relationship with a good-willed person and we go to our partner with that, that gives them the opportunity to meet us in that vulnerability and to meet us with love, because they don't have to defend themselves because we're no longer attacking them. We're sharing with them something that's happening with us, something very real. And when we get in the habit of going there, of going deeper with ourselves and getting curious, we start to clean out kind of those bad reactions that we have. Again, if you picture the lemon, you're getting squeezed, the complaining doesn't have to come out. The mean comments, the passive aggressive behaviors, they don't come out anymore because that's not who you are anymore. Instead, you're someone who allows yourself to feel emotions as they come up. And then you get curious about, well, why am I feeling this thing in the first place? And you dig deeper, you lean into vulnerability, and you share from there. Because the goal is not to fake it. The goal is not to pretend everything is okay. I don't want you to be Miss Positivity or Mr. Positivity all the time. I want you to be aligned and true to yourself. And that means allowing yourself to experience things as they come up. But you don't have to throw that emotion all over someone else. So if this relates to you at all, I really encourage you to write down whatever it is that bothered you and ask yourself why. And then do it again, do it again, do it again. And after about 7 times, maybe up to 12, you'll get to that root cause. And then you can address the root cause and be vulnerable and share from there. If sitting with emotions feels overwhelming, I'd love for you to download my free Feel to Heal starter kit. I'll put the link in the show notes. This is a quick guide and meditation to start tapping into emotions that maybe you've been pushing away. You'll get to sit with and experience whatever it is that's coming up for you without projecting it onto other people or suppressing it and pretending that it doesn't exist. Remember, you have control over you, and that is all you have control over, and you get to choose how you show up and how you respond in life. Until next time, I hope you choose growth.